'Cause that's the bottom line. 'Cause Stone Cold said so. Feed me more. You just made the list. Rest in peace.
Real quick, Pete, before we start this show, we're going to have a moment of silence for all of the WWE fans' hopes and dreams. So,
Yeah.
okay, everybody out there, all my armchair bookers, gonna go ahead and do a review of Rest Hold 2018. I mean Backlash 2018. Excuse me. So, Jesus Christ, man. Pete, before we get into this, man, help me out. What happened? Are we wrong in believing that WWE will ever truly listen to us again, coming off of Cena and now Roman Reigns? Are we wrong in thinking this?
Probably.
I love the straightforward answer because it's so true. But it's like, are we wrong in thinking this, man? Because we keep booing Roman just like we booed Cena, and it's just like coming off of Cena and the mixed reaction that he got. Now Roman is getting less of a mixed reaction in the
the problem with comparing Roman to Cena is Cena eventually got booed for a while, but even still, he definitely had the strong, following. You can look in the crowd, and it was a sea of it, whatever color he decided to make his T-shirt.
Right.
But you would hear the boos, but you could clearly see that he was still selling all the merchandise and stuff.
True. That is true.
Roman's not even doing that. The kids only kind of half care about Roman. Only people that care about Roman are WWE. And then, like, random people out there. Because there are some people out there that like Roman.
It's got to be some. Definitely got to be some.
Because, you look at Roman and you want to like him.
I say all the time, he looks like a fucking superhero. Like, he looks like a guy, he's a good-looking dude. Like, you would think that the ladies especially would be all smitten with him, you know what I'm saying? Like, sleek look, all that shit, man. That's one of the reasons why I think everybody fell in love with the guy, whether you actually crushed on him or, like, just liked him from the Shield. On top of whatever he did was because of his look. Like you said, you look at him, you want to like him. Part of me honestly feels sorry for Joe Anoa'i because he has to play Roman Reigns to a sea of boos, and he just keeps coming out being booked this way. And then it's just like, I was saying this to one of my friends who everybody used to watch wrestling back in the day, but doesn't watch wrestling now. And I was saying to him, I was like, part of it is his fault for not being ready, and then and them trying to put that hat on him of the guy and not being ready, and then he couldn't run with it. But a good portion of it goes to WWE, because if you're supposed to be the guy and you're not ready, and you get however many chances to be ready and you're not, then it becomes the problem with the business that keeps putting you out there to eventually get slaughtered and crucified and quote unquote hijacked every fucking night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if I'm working at a company, like you just got promoted, right? If I'm working at a company and I come in as a worker and then all of a sudden they make me like fucking GM or some shit, and I'm supposed to work this, and I start running the company into the fucking ground because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I may have potential, but I need more time to learn my footing and shit, get my way. After a while, it stops becoming my fault for not being ready, and it becomes the fault of the company for making me keep this top spot when I clearly didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Yeah?
Yeah, but it's also the 5 year long fucking like this guy already thing that
Right.
you got
That's what I'm
going on,
saying.
and you needed to stop the fucking like this guy already. Like after I don't know 2.
Give him, give
Give
him,
him
give him time, because yeah. But then after a while, it's like you ain't got to push him back down to like lower mid card or jobber status, but push him down a little bit, man. Let him marinate within the ranks of this shit.
let it feel organic.
Definitely that. Definitely that shit. I mean,
And don't have him like get opportunity after opportunity, and then complain about his opponent being Vince's boy.
yeah, we're gonna get into Raw on the next little podcast episode we record soon after this. But the shit that he said the following fucking night after this was like, wow, either y'all don't care about Roman, y'all don't care about the fans, or it's just a collection of all. Because he really said the next night about some politics and shit. Like, really? Anyway, let's go ahead and get into Backlash. So, the kickoff match, Ruby Riott versus Bayley, that they threw out like last minute out of nowhere with like no promotion. But to be honest, it was a solid match. I had no issues with it.
Yeah.
Um, there was nothing special, but there was nothing bad. Ruby Riott is starting to become one of my one of the females that I'm starting to like as far as like female competitors and stuff. I'm starting to like her. The problem with Ruby Riott and I'm starting to like her is I still don't give a damn about the rest of the Riot Squad.
I don't either.
How do you feel about Ruby?
Eh.
And see, that's what I was saying this to Ibn, and like I always say, for those of y'all who don't know, Ibn is my big brother. But I was saying this to Ibn. I was like, they need to start doing more shit with the other members of the Riot Squad because people already don't give a damn about Ruby Riot, and so they damn sure don't give a damn about the rest of them.
Yeah. Ruby and the Riot Squad are just a freaking plot device for this overlong and overplayed
Sasha
Sasha
and Bailey
Bailey
shit.
thing.
I knew what you were gonna say. Oh my god. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. Um, Well, yeah. One thing that they started planting the seeds with this with the Riot Squad was I was like, at least these motherfuckers started getting in the match and interfering or something. Because like I don't fucking know. Why? Anytime you're supposed to have a team who's like out watching your singles match
Yeah.
and they're like basically just standing there. New Day doesn't stand there. New Day like gets hyped with the crowd and shit, or might stop the bad guy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like if they just stand there, which is what Liv, Morgan, and Sarah Logan do half the fucking time, and then I'm like, okay, finally y'all are getting it. Especially if you were a heel team, do something. That was my biggest problem with them was fucking like look like you're not part of the fucking scenery. But whatever. Maybe that's just me. Um,
Mm.
Next match, match of the night. We were wrong. We were wrong about the match of the night. I tell you that much. Um, Good idea to start the match off, or start the pay per view off with a solid opener.
Mm-hmm.
Problem was this was more than just a solid opener. This was a damn good opener. And before I even saw that everybody online agreed with me that the quality declined, I was already saying while watching this quality declined throughout the night after
Oh yeah.
Miz and Rollins. After Miz and Rollins, it was like, where do we yeah, because the matches started off Miz and Rollins amazing. Then it got good, good, and then it just fucking dipped. And once it dipped, it was like I liken it to a big drop on a roller coaster. You climb up and then you drop, and that was it.
Yeah.
So One of my favorite spots from this match though was after after Miz had tried to hit two other skull crushing finales when he was on the second rope with Seth Rollins, and then Miz just started getting this look in his eye,
Yeah.
like this motherfucker, like he was about to skull crushing finale him off the second rope and shit.
Yeah,
Shit was
it
funny.
was a good match. I just had the problem of okay, and
Mhm.
I'll bring this up again with something that happened later in the pay per view. But Seth Rollins, okay, it goes back to that whole Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar thing of kicking out of finishers. Miz beat Roman Reigns, the guy who kicks out of 5F5s,
Mhm.
with two skull crushing finales.
Okay.
Seth Rollins breaks his knee,
Yeah,
gets
because
hit with
that was the
three,
story of the match was his knee was fucked up, right?
gets hit with three skull crushing finales, and still kicks out like it's nothing.
Mm.
And hits Miz with one curb stomp, and he lays down.
So basically,
And he hit him with the curb stomp on the bad leg,
yeah.
hobbled around, crawled over to pin him. Not quite Triple H versus Booker T levels, but still. And it's like that was a good match, and yes, it good story and probably and was more than likely the match of the night. But in the terms of trying to make the opponent look like they are anything, it's like okay, have him get out of a figure four, have him
Mhm.
do other
Mhm.
stuff, have him kick out of I don't know one skull crushing finale. Have Miz use other ways to try and attack him and take
Mhm.
advantage of the
Mhm.
knee, as opposed to I'm gonna hit you with three of my finishers. You've only got one leg, and your finisher requires a leg. Both of your finishers require a leg use involving your knee, like moving and stuff.
Yeah, because if he did the pedigree, he would fall to his knees. I feel
Or
you.
if he
Yeah.
hit you with the knee to the face that he has, with the like pull your arm back and hit you in the face with his knee.
All right, he doesn't do the pedigree no more. I'm tripping.
Yeah, he stopped that after he beat Triple H.
Right. Right. Right.
But still, it's just like I said, good match, good idea for a story. It's just you want to make the other guy not look like his finisher ain't shit.
I guess if you look at it from the if you look at it from a standalone match, like you just come in, watch the match with like nothing before or not thinking about the after, and you just look at the match. They told a great story, great match, all that good shit. If you look at it for about what you were saying of knowing these people and like having seen all this shit, yeah. I mean, it's at a point now, especially pretty much anything in WWE involving Roman and finishers, the scale is just off. It's
Power
just off.
scaling in general is off nowadays, and
It
it's
is. It
because it's
is.
because of what you just said about watching every match in a bubble. They feel like they can do
Yeah.
every match in a bubble, and that it doesn't affect the whole anymore. They forgot that the whole point of it all is a giant soap opera story type thing, and there should be some kind of continuity. But
It's
they're
like
like, everybody can recover, and if they don't, well, that's their fault for not getting over.
the reason why the reason why in Shawn Michaels versus Taker with that amazing shot of Undertaker laying on Shawn Michaels with his eyes bugged out, looking so shocked. The reason why that is so fucking just like such a great shot, besides Taker's expression and everything, is when Shawn Michaels' desperation kicks out of the tombstone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, because we've been brought up for over a decade at that point, and now even more than that, to believe that the tombstone is this thing that puts people away. You
Yeah.
get hit by a fucking tombstone, you damn near are dead.
Yeah.
You know. So when Shawn Michaels kicks out desperation last minute in that match, that's what makes that so fucking iconic. Because it's like, holy shit, he kicked out the tombstone. Now it's like, oh, he kicked out of an F5. Okay, well, how many more do we have coming before he kicks out or again and then stops? Okay, you got about at least six more. All right, cool. I don't necessarily react after the first finisher of anybody anymore when they go for the pin in almost any match. And I'm not just saying this because I don't necessarily react after anybody hitting their finisher for the first time in wrestling. and then the pin, because I know that the way things have gone with the power scaling and the predictability, first, sometimes even the second finisher, is not over.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, it's hard
It's a
to
it's a problem.
enjoy a match when everyone's just kicking out of finishes and finishes don't matter. And then you had the, okay, well, at least with this injury, that finisher should put him away, right? It's a just
Hmm.
a reason for that person to lose. They have something to be like, oh, I tweaked my knee. And nope, he's perfectly fine.
Because I mean, speaking of injuries and whatever and all that stuff too, and I mean, once we talk about the Raw and SmackDown review, we can talk about it more. But I understand about you with Oscar's streak, but I like we all said, we thought the figure eight was not going to put her away because her arm was fucked up. But whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, and then they also kind of with this particular
Yeah,
match,
but
they all,
it's
go ahead.
literally
Sorry.
just like that. Where it's like, yeah,
Mm.
I've got this massive injury and stuff, but
But it
you
doesn't
ain't
it doesn't
shit.
mean shit.
But you ain't shit, so I can beat you one armed or one legged.
Yeah.
It just makes the other person look pointless. Like,
Uh,
why'd you even show up? You can't do shit.
Kind of, man, kind of. Well, I was gonna say they also kind of booked themselves into an obvious, predictable match too. Great match, but obvious, predictable match too. Because, like I was saying to you on our predictions, there's no way, and we both agree, there's no way they're gonna have both secondary titles on one brand. So
Mm-hmm.
we knew Rollins was winning going into this bitch. By the way, I'm gonna say too, you, you need to hit the fucking lottery because you were 100 out of 100, like 100%, not 100 out of 100, but 100% on the predictions with these bitches too.
Oh,
Like,
was I?
yes, even out of the kickoff that I texted you last second to see, yeah, you were 100% on everything. The two that we differed on, you got right. Everything else, like everything we agreed on, we both got right. The two that we differed on, you got right. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna fucking ask you about the fucking lottery and shit.
Oh
Um,
boy.
Next match, Raw Women's match. Alexa Bliss returning in the in-ring competition after we had not really seen her do much for like the last what 2-3 weeks maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Went up against Nia Jax. This is where it started to decline. Good match, but the quality was starting to dip. Especially compared to the match that came before this. But
Yeah.
it was starting to dip. Um, Knew Nia Jax was gonna win because she hadn't had the title for that long. Alexa Bliss had had it for much longer before she lost it. And I mean,
Yeah, it's her
anytime,
first defense.
exact,
Like I said in the prediction show, this is Nia Jax, not Sasha Banks.
well, true though, very true. Shit, Bailey even said that shit. I went back and watched that shit where Bailey was like, "And how long did you keep it?" It was like,
Yeah, how
"Ah,
many times? She's like, I'm a four-time women's champion. Yeah. Well, how many times did you defend it?
like
Ooh.
and then they started fighting and it went nowhere. Um, but yeah, I mean, and when Alexa finally wins, or whoever wins it from Jax, it'll be a decent match, I guess. But realistically, looking at it, they're gonna have to do some serious like booking to make it feel as though Alexa could win, because you have the smallest female is the biggest female. So realistically, who in the fuck you think gonna win?
What?
Like,
You have someone small versus someone big. However, will the small person ever win?
hit a 619. That's how they win.
Or
Uh,
a yes law?
True, true. Although Daniel Bryan never went against the Big Show that many fucking times though, and that's the most I can think about what you're talking about.
Quite literally later in the show, there's a small versus big match.
Oh, fuck that match. We'll get to it. Fuck that match.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
why I was joking about that. It's like, oh,
I,
whatever would a small person do against a big person?
damn,
Now, how could they make that a storyline?
did they really, did they really put a small versus big in both a male and female on the same card? Wow,
It's
I did
just,
not realize
but
that.
but but the difference is one. The angle was, the small person was a bitch to the big person, and obviously, not they didn't make the female match about small versus big. They made it about, this bitch versus, this other woman that had to deal with bullying and blah, blah, blah. And it's also fucking terrifying. I mean, look at her. She's going to fucking crush her, and it's rightfully deserved.
But
As
it's funny
opposed
though.
to
Go ahead.
as opposed to the Cass and Daniel Bryan thing, where the whole thing was big person versus small person.
Yeah, and then like you said, the small person was a bitch to the big person, and then the big person was a bitch to the small person.
Mm-hmm.
Like holy shit, I didn't even catch that till right now. What was funny too was Nia Jax started talking. Speaking of bullying, she started talking after the match about this is for anyone who felt bullied and this and that and blah 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 and all this stuff, and the crowd was just booing her out the fucking building. Oh my god, the crowd booed her out of the fucking
Because
building.
no one cares about the
Nobody
fucking
gives a
bullying thing. We spent the past 2 or 3 years with the Be a Star and the anti-bullying, and I'm not saying bullying is right. It is not. It causes like lifelong effects to people. I understand this.
We both been victims of bullying
At
shit.
the same time, it's an inevitability, and two, people that are now successful and go, I was motivated by my bullying to be a success, shouldn't really be the people saying don't let bullying happen.
Mm. I mean, and then I'll put it this way too. WWE is doing a good job with the whole Be a Star stuff and
No, they're
inspiring
trying.
kids. That's well, but what I was gonna say was, but is kind of like Roman in a sense, kind of like that in a sense where it's just like sometimes the shit just gets a little old, man. And then on top of that, Naya's not terrible, but she ain't the best on the fucking mic. So that shit was just like, how long is this gonna go? Be quiet. She got to
Uh,
cheer when she when
oh
she
yeah,
said
that and
when she
most
said
people.
bullies get their ass kicked. Then
Yeah,
she got to fucking cheer. Mm.
yeah. It's just one of those things where, like I said, I'm not really supporting bullying, but having someone be like, when I was young, I got bullied a lot. Now but that just motivated me to go to the gym, get stronger, and now I make millions and millions of dollars.
Mm.
So it's a good thing you were bullied. Because if you
Uh,
hadn't, you probably would have just been complacent. That's the way you're making it sound. Yeah, that's all I'm
that
saying.
that is, I'll put it this way. That's
Like a loser like me can say bullying has long lasting effects on you, self esteem and the whatnot.
right. I mean, I have some from my upbringing from elementary school and middle and shit. So
I guess it's not so much the fact, it's not the message so much as the messengers.
yeah. Well, like I said, one of the main things that hurt this, on top of what she was saying, is the fact that Nia Jax ain't the best on the fucking mic. So
Yeah.
that definitely didn't help. Um, and I was looking at some stuff, and people made a good point. All she needed to do was get on there and say bullies get their ass kicked, and then that would have been good enough. But she went on and on about like what people didn't care about.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, United States Championship. Jeff Hardy defeated Randy Orton to retain. I mean, I like Jeff. I like Randy. This match, who cares? If you did, I would love to hear what you got to say. But I mean, I'm just kind of like meh.
It's kind of eh.
It was yeah, it was very like bleh. Good for you, both. Good for you guys. Like okay. The
It
next set,
wasn't. It wasn't terrible.
it wasn't terrible by any means, but it wasn't like good or great by any means either.
Mm-mm.
It was just a match. We're gonna get to the terrible matches. Trust and believe that shit. Um, the next segment, honestly, after this segment is a dividing line for when after this segment is when the fucking pay per view went downhill. Uh, this segment was fucking amazing though. Elias in the center of the ring doing his fucking concert, and everybody interrupted his ass. That shit was so good.
I like this segment, but we're gonna go back to the in a bubble argument. I like the segment in a bubble. If you put this segment on like a Raw or a SmackDown, the segment's funny and great. It was still funny. Problem was, it's in the middle of a pay per view that already had like 8 matches scheduled.
It went on too long.
It was like 20 minutes.
I thought that it went on for the perfect amount of time.
It was like a 20-minute segment.
I guess this is where we differ a little bit because I was honestly sitting there after. So New Day came out, then Aiden English because of the singing. New Day came out with their band stuff and the trombone. Uh, Aiden English with the singing and Rusev Day, and No Way Jose was dancing. I was sitting there thinking like, who else do we have whose gimmick is like music oriented that can come out and interrupt him again? As far as I was concerned, I was like, who else we got in the back that can like play an instrument or like dance or some shit? That shit was funny as fuck. Now Titus Worldwide Breezango being part of the conga line is like, yeah, okay, all the ridiculous, silly shit or whatever you got, you wanted to put with it. This to me was just like, I love the Fashion Police. And I ain't got a problem with Titus. Why are you here? That's some more WWE.
I know why
everybody needs to
Titus
shave
Worldwide has like story reason for being there. They've been chilling with No Way Jose the past couple weeks. Breezango, not so much.
Breezango was just there. Very true. Very true. And then Bobby Roode comes out and hits a glorious DDT. Now, some of the motherfucking smart ass motherfuckers are pissing me off talking about something. So did you see when Bobby Roode was leaving? He kind of like not even really booty pop, but booty popped a little bit for like a second or two, just like popped a little bit. Some people were saying that this might be the end of Bobby Roode because he was quote unquote twerking. I was like, shut up.
Yeah, that's stupid.
This might be the end of Bobby Roode because he's twerking. Like, really? The man is dancing. He was just playing around. All of this was goofy and dumb.
Yeah.
Y'all you look like he like stripped naked and got like put his hands on his knees and started like popping in the center of the ring. That might kill his fucking career, but
It's just stupid.
people are fucking stupid. But I didn't think, like I said, I guess that's where we differ. I didn't think the segment went on too long. I was like, shit, who else we got that can come out and interrupt him? But I mean, Elias, dude, this man is the way he was working the crowd was just with the whole stand up, yeah, sit down, bullshit, and then we.
Like I said, I love me some Elias, and I did like the segment overall. It was just
it went on too long for you.
We're at a pay-per-view. We still have a fuck ton of more stuff to do. That's good. Like the pay-per-view ran about a half hour over time.
It went at least 30 minutes over, yeah.
And we had a damn near 30-minute segment.
So if you cut the segment, the pay-per-view runs at the appropriate amount of time, is what you're saying.
Roughly, yes.
I see what you're getting at.
So, good segment. Kinda wish it wasn't like... It didn't detract from the show, because there's plenty that does. But right. That was just my one complaint with it.
I got you.
I did like the segment of Bubba. I did like the idea of the New Day and everyone interrupted him. And Elias is... I put that guy on the screen as much as you want. I love this guy.
He's fucking incredible. Like I said, for him, the way he just pivoted. And the crowd was just cheering. And I was like, this dude got crowd control out the ass.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. Like I said, I don't want him to be a face. But the day he becomes a face, he's going to be a pretty damn good face. We'll see how better of a face he is than a heel. But he'll be a pretty... Because he understands crowd control. So, Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. He ends up winning. So, well, this was one of the matches where we differed on. I thought Cass was gonna win. Cass didn't. Tapped out to the yes lock. The crowd could have given a fuck about this match, just like I'm pretty sure everybody else. But after the match, the crowd actually started to give a fuck about Cass, though.
Did they? Can I talk about the finish of the match?
Go ahead, please.
Where Daniel Bryan is trying to put Cass in the yes lock.
And he's too big.
No. Daniel Bryan had to leave his hand out there to and pretty much try and oh, please resist the yes lock. So, because this is literally the only way I can beat you. So you should probably resist this. Just leaves his hand there. It takes a while to wrap it. Cass doesn't. So he puts it on. Then he just takes Cass's hand and moves it to try and get him to resist the yes lock before finally locking it in.
So basically, what you're saying is, because I didn't really catch that. Basically, what you're saying is Daniel Bryan had to make Cass look like he was resisting Daniel Bryan's own move.
Yes.
I did not catch that. Wow.
Go P.
Oh
What it?
God.
See, I thought it looked. I just thought it looked awkward. My
Mm-hmm.
roommate clearly going off about what's going on, and then sure enough, looking up on Twitter, people are like, "Wow, Daniel Bryan had to force Big Cass to resist his finisher." It's like,
To add,
yeah, if you're a big dude and you just, I'm a giant, there's no way you can beat me except for maybe lock me in a submission, and that's about probably the only thing you could do to beat me.
mm-hmm.
You probably would be looking out for that one way the opponent can beat you.
Right. So basically, he was like, "Please resist my fucking move." So that way, it could be like, "Oh shit, this is a devastating move." I got you. I didn't
Or
catch.
also just the common sense that if you're in a match with somebody and they're
Mm.
about to hit their finisher, especially if they're half your size and that's the only way they can beat you, you should probably at least put up some resistance.
I didn't catch that, man. I did not catch that shit. Hmm.
But
But but no,
I
I
don't.
was saying. Go. I'm sorry. You gonna
Sorry,
say them?
it may also just because I was in a room with two like people that have watched Big Cass since FCW and thus are like two of his like biggest detractors. But
Oh shit.
that might have influenced like my opinion on him in the match a little.
Hmm.
But yeah, that match didn't sell me on Big Cass.
And no, and that's why I said. But I was surprised when Cass started attacking Brian after, and the crowd did care. They did. They were booing. I don't know if they care so much about Cass, but they definitely booed somebody hitting up Brian. I don't know
Oh,
if it could have been any person beating up Daniel Bryan,
fair enough.
but the fact that Big Cass started beating up Daniel Bryan, the crowd went from being silent to a sea of boos. I was surprised.
Mm,
I was like, they actually gave a fuck? Because I sure in the hell didn't.
yeah. But no, it left a lot of people like, oh my god, this. Well, another thing I just saw was a bunch of people like posting tweets like, Big Cass wishes he could hit a good big boot, and they just like showed like gifts of Test like big booting the Big Show or Kane.
Test did have a great big boot. Rest in peace, Test. Test did have an amazing fucking big boot. That is true. Um, I was saying that to Ivan, man. I was like, you know what Cass's finisher is? They never made it. They never like made it obvious and said it. But it's the big boot. Like, are you serious? This dude's finisher is a big boot.
It's a
That's it.
big boot into an elbow drop, the Empire Elbow.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
But the problem is half his moveset is boots and elbows.
He's a tall, lanky dude. That's not me trying to shit on him, but it's just, yeah, I don't know.
Hey, you're tall. Throw the opponent. You're big. Throw your weight around, and by your weight I mean the opponent's. Throw their weight around.
What did Nia do? That was like the whole fucking offense of Nia versus Alexa was flinging her like a rag doll. So, shit, there were a few parts in there where she literally threw her and she looked like a fucking rag doll. Um, and apparently, if it's true, because WWE reported it, but if it's true, Alexa Bliss is apparently injured, injured her shoulder because of the way that Nia was actually flinging her around in some of those moves. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, she's actually supposed to be like injured for real. But
Ah,
then again, I say WWE reported it, so we don't know how true that is. Um, Next match. Now this, oh my god, this match. I was so disappointed in this match. This match, Carmella won against Charlotte Flair for the
oh
SmackDown Women's title.
boy.
The reason why I was so disappointed in this match. You know how much I like Carmella and how much I like Charlotte Flair. I say it all the time. I like them both, and I feel like Carmella's coming into her own and all that. But what made me upset with this match was this match started off with so much potential, and then they went into rest hold after rest hold after rest hold after rest hold. And the whole time I'm watching, I was saying, this rest hold is gonna kill the match, and they did. I
You
was
know what?
I was upset.
You know what really killed the match? Charlotte Flair goes for the moonsault. Oh, she tweaks her knee. Carmella just kicks her in the knee and wins.
She just kicked her knee out and won. Didn't do nothing crazy.
On the same, it goes back to that whole in a bubble thing. In a
Yeah,
bubble,
yeah.
that makes sense. You attack the injured knee. Unfortunately, quite literally earlier in the night, we saw somebody injure their knee and then
And win the
kick out
match.
of 3 finishers after injuring their knee and then win the match with fucking ease.
What is Carmella's finisher?
I don't know. Apparently, I think someone said it was a super kick, but usually those go to the face.
Yeah, the reason why I was asking is because I don't even know what her finisher would be to win with that. Is the main reason I was asking that
Apparently,
question.
it's a kick to the back of the knee.
But no, man. So basically, like I said, the match started out great with Carmella like trying to run and Charlotte caught her and all this stuff. It was like, oh shit, okay, we telling a story. We got some intensity going. Here we go. Okay, cool.
You know what I want to see?
And then it just started holding. She just started holding her. That was it.
You know what I want to see? I
What you
want
want
to see a heel do the whole runaway thing at the start of a match. The face stop him. The heel finally knock the face down and then leave.
And then the match is just over.
It's the heel thing to do. It's the smart thing to do. Like
I
they
mean,
do the whole like quote unquote
they would
smart.
get counted out. You know, people
But
get
the-
counted out all the time.
but
You know,
the
for doing that
heel-
shit.
But the heel doesn't like. But I'm saying like actually leave, not just I'm gonna act like I don't want to do this. I don't even need to do this because I'm the champion. I'm gonna do the quote unquote smart thing because it kind of is. You're not gonna lose the title. You're
not
the
gonna
match,
lose
but you
shit,
keep the
right?
title. It's like no, I don't have to fight you, so I won't if I don't have to. And they act like they're gonna leave. Then the face stops them, and then they're like, well. And then once they finally get some offense on the face, they're like, well, I guess I'll stay now. Nah, leave. You knocked them down, and they can't catch you now. Just say fuck it. Will the crowd be mad? Yes, I would be mad watching. At the same time, that's what the heel would do. From a realistic, I don't give a fuck what you guys do if you boo me. I'm getting the fuck out of here because I don't want to be. That would be the right move to make.
Well, what I was gonna say was people have not necessarily left, but they have gotten out the ring and gotten themselves counted out on purpose.
Yeah,
Heels do that shit.
but that's like after they've decided to fight for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. So you mean they should
Just right up the second
ding,
they
ding,
get
ding,
some offense,
roll out the ring and then just
and then the
go
face, and then
go
the
to the
face
locker
stops
room.
them. Yeah, and then the face stops them, and then they like, I don't know, whatever Carmella did, where she like whipped Charlotte into the steps or whatever it was to get her first bit of offense. Do that and then leave. You get that one bit of offense in enough to knock them down and then leave. Not, I knocked you down. I guess I'm here for the match now. And then later, like, nah, okay, I'm done. No, just fucking leave. You were planning on leaving the whole time. Just leave.
What I'm surprised they didn't do, and then we'll move on to the next match, I guess. But what I'm surprised they didn't do, not that I wanted to see the Iconics, but I'm surprised that the Iconics didn't interrupt this match because the Iconics interrupting Charlotte wouldn't have lost any credibility. It would have kept everybody pissed off at Carmella, and you would have and you would have hated the fucking Iconics even more so because these three women would still be conspiring to whoop Charlotte's ass. So, like I said, the face doesn't lose credibility, and then the heel stays, as Stone Cold would say, a chicken shit heel. So, I don't know. I like Carmella, but that match was not a good showing for either one of them. And I mean, we'll talk about Charlotte's in-ring work, but Charlotte be carrying these ladies, man. And then Charlotte versus Peyton Royce, Charlotte was fucking carrying that match. We'll get to that on SmackDown, but goddamn. Anyway, no disqualification match. WWE Championship. AJ Shinsuke draw. Now, real quick, before we get into anything on this match, I gotta ask you, sir. Did you think this was going to be the main event?
It made sense to be.
I'm not saying if it made sense. I'm saying, did you think? Because of course it made sense.
Part of me did, but part of me also knew Roman was on the show. At the
Right.
same time, I don't know. It was kind of 50-50, if I'm being completely honest. Like, part of me would just assume naturally that the championship would be the main event.
Hmm.
But at the same time, part of me is being trained to see Roman in the main event. At the same time, I knew Roman's match was literally a nothing match. Nothing was on the line, so I figured it wouldn't
Right.
be the main event. So it was just kind of 50-50. I didn't really think about it, if that
Well,
makes any sense.
I'm gonna say this, and then I know you got more to say about the match besides the main event and shit. But I'm gonna say this real quick. This is not me trying to sound like I knew and I'm better than anybody, whatever. But it's just I'm genuinely shocked to find out that so many people, including Ibn, me and Ibn almost made a bet. I chickened out the last second. I almost won $50 because of what we thought would be the main event. We were gonna make a bet, but like I said, I chickened out. But I'm surprised so many people thought that there would be anything over a main event of Roman Reigns. Like and that's not me trying to sound like anybody's dumb or I'm smart or whatever. I'm just like I'm. So many people believed it. Apparently, from the people who left in this event, some people apparently were ready to go after they found out that AJ and Shinsuke wasn't the main event.
Beat the traffic. I mean, we'll get
Beat the
into that.
traffic. Yeah, we'll get into. But I'm genuinely a little surprised that so many people thought that, like you said, on a Roman
What that
Reigns
the main,
show.
but also that the main title of the company that you're watching would
Like I
be
said,
given
like I
some
said,
respect with an actual thing that has an actual storyline.
like I said, not what makes sense, but just
Now,
what,
granted, with the
because it
finish,
makes fucking sense, of course. Okay, now I know you got more to say though, so yeah, we can get off of main event shit.
but with the finish, okay, the match was great
It
until
was,
the
it
finish.
was, it was on its way to being match of the night, and clearly match of the night.
Dude, that fucking throw the chair to counter this Kinshasa, but the Kinshasa just kicks the chair back in AJ's face.
Looked like a fucking crime scene.
Just pow pow, like counter, counter, counter. What? Oh god.
The fucking low blow, and then AJ said "fuck you" and low blowed him right
Yeah,
after. That
yeah,
was
that was
great, man.
cool. But okay, my question to you. Okay, so
Uh huh.
at
Okay.
Greatest Royal Rumble,
Yes.
they had a match.
Mm-hmm.
How did that end?
It ended with a double count out.
All right, yeah, because they both couldn't like answer the 10 count, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Paige goes on and goes, "Yeah, we don't like having those double count out things. So I'm gonna make a match where that's not gonna be a thing and make a no DQ match. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
How did this match end?
Double knockdown. Couldn't answer the count of 10. I fucking hissed. Oh shit. See, okay, so this is my thing. Uh Hear what I'm saying, okay? Hear what I'm saying. Of course, I did not want the match to end in any type of draw. Of course not. Especially not this. But if somebody kick you in your nuts that fucking hard, so there's a part of me that gets it. And that's what's so bad is there's a part of me that gets it as much as I didn't like it. There's a part of me that, like, as much as I didn't like it, there's a part of me that's okay with this particular. And you know me, I'm Mister. I fucking hate, count outs and all that shit. Like, we had that little conversation about Bobby Roode and Elias off the last podcast we did.
Mm-hmm.
But so I hate this shit. But there's a part of me that understands this because of the way it ended. So as much as I'm like, damn, it had to be a fucking draw, double like knockdown or whatever. I'm looking at the gif right now, them kicking each other in they fucking balls hard, and I'm just like, I get it.
But that match still should have continued.
No,
Was
now
the
why in
whole
the
point of the
why,
match.
why does a no DQ have a fucking like 10 count? I don't fucking know. I agree with that. technically,
especially a
there's
no
still 10
DQ,
counts.
especially a no DQ that was made specifically to be an anti.
A deterrent for the shit, yeah.
So that's what angers me.
And then fucking Tuesday follow up, we don't have any match or anything for real besides an interview here and there, which is nice to say face, but interview here and there between Nakamura and Styles. So it's
We'll
like,
get to that on Tuesday.
yeah. But I mean, I don't know.
Oh, we talk
This
about SmackDown.
this needs the next match they have needs to not end in a no contest. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
Because then we're gonna stop giving a fuck.
yeah.
That like what we were talking about with Sasha and Bailey, and what I was talking about with the rest of the Riot Squad. If you have so much shit going on for so long without any type of progression, your audience is gonna stop giving a shit. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman beat up Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. What the fuck else is new? This was a Raw match. If I had ever fucking heard of a Raw match on a pay per view, was there any point to this fucking match even being made? No. So
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like there's no point to it. They look like they were trying to break. They look like they're trying to break up Seven and Cammy.
oh, I
Kevin
forgot about
and
that.
Sammy.
Seven and Cammy.
Jesus Christ. They look like
Seven
they're
and
trying to
Cammy.
break them up,
Yeah.
but why? If anything, the two people that should have attacked themselves at the end of that match were Braun and Bobby Lashley. Because you literally have nothing to do with them, clearly, except make them beat up Kevin and Sammy.
That is true. They're not even like beating up everybody else. They're just beating up Kevin and Sammy.
Which,
Like
with Braun, I guess it makes sense, especially with what he did after the match. I mean, he is Mr. I'm not finished with you. That is
right,
quite
because
literally who he
Sammy
is.
tried to run and he was like, "Come here, bitch."
And he just like hit Kevin with another power slam after the match. It's like, no, I get it. He's Mr. I'm not finished with you. That's why you don't start stuff with him. Don't start what he won't finish.
But you forgot they don't have not that they don't have things to do with them. They don't have things to do with Bobby. That's what it is.
They don't, but they could easily put Hoyt, Bobby, and Braun and give them something to do.
Yep.
Instead, they have this whole Bobby Lashley is back gimmick.
How long are you back before you're not back anymore? Basically.
Now, granted, it's been like a couple weeks because you got to think about it. He showed up the night after WrestleMania,
Right after WrestleMania, right?
and then Backlash, and then we had Greatest Royal Rumble like a week after that, and then fucking Backlash a week after that. So
I mean, this is true.
he's technically been back for about a month tops. It just feels like they're not doing anything other than saying he's back.
And he hasn't really done much, man. Like besides being thrown into random matches, he's showing off his strength and all. But other than that, like got to do more than that, I guess.
And even
Unless
still,
you're gonna,
Braun's technically stronger.
I was gonna say, unless you're gonna do Goldberg booking, because Goldberg didn't need to talk. Goldberg came in, whooped ass, and then left, and that's what made Goldberg good. But
Yeah, but he's also younger than a Goldberg was. He's like trying to be back there.
what was I gonna say though? But no, so yeah, like you said, they teased the breakup of like throwing you in and everything. I did laugh though when Sami Zayn fucking threw Kevin Owens into the ring. I was like, he threw him into the wolves. They fucking get slaughtered. That was funny as shit. That's the
Yeah,
first thing
he's
I thought.
like, no, we need to leave. We need to leave because we can't beat these guys. Why do we even bother? Kevin's like, no, we fight. Fine, then you get in the ring.
Then you get in there, motherfucker. That shit was funny. Now, like you said, why? It was funny, but I guess that, you know what? Fuck. Okay. Shit, Pete. You know what? If you watch it in a bubble. God damn it. God damn it. God damn. If you watched it in a bubble, it would be a pretty decent match.
Backlash, just rename it to Bubble.
I told you, I'm calling this bitch Rest Hold 2018 because of fucking Orton Hardy, Carmella, Charlotte,
Just what Orton do.
And then the next match, Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. That's more rest holds. Let's get into that.
Sure.
Roman Reigns beats Samoa Joe to a sea of fucking boos. The whole fucking match, from the time Roman got out to the time that they were just wrestling bell to bell and entrances, it was just boo, 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 boo.
Beat
Maybe
the traffic.
there might have been a little bit of Joe
Oh no,
to
there
break
was
that up.
Joe. But here's the thing: there were boos, but WWE, smart person that they were,
I know what you're gonna say.
muted that shit as soon as they
Ha,
could.
they just and it's like, okay, we talked about this, and we could talk about it again, I guess, because they're giving us more reason to talk about it. But why are they protecting him so much? Cena didn't get protected this much.
Didn't need it.
I don't know,
Cena didn't need it.
like,
And
cause
the worst part is, they tried to mute the crowd. Okay, well, there's a couple things to the worst part of this. Okay, so if you're going to mute the crowd to try and convince the people at home that the boos aren't nearly as thunderous as people think they are, okay, that's fine. It's your company, it's your product. You're
do whatever you want, right?
you
We don't have to watch.
technically are doing this, and this is your story. You're writing it the way you want to.
True.
So you want to mute the crowd, as heinous as that is. You have the right to do it. You have the right to do it.
hmm
So my question to you: why didn't you just turn them down during the montage before the match?
Were they booing during the montage?
No, there was no crowd noise during the montage. So you come back and you don't necessarily notice the crowd is quieter than it was before. As opposed to you come back from the montage, you have the crowd at normal volume for Samoa Joe's entrance, and then clearly Roman Reigns' music starts and boom.
Yep.
You could have just had it be the same volume level the whole time, and people not fucking realize it.
Because one, I guess you don't want to stifle Joe's reaction, even though he's supposed to be.
Well,
Joe is a heel, and he's getting the cheers that Roman gets. But I guess also too, maybe on the off chance that you don't maybe on the off chance Roman doesn't fucking get booed. I don't know.
well, that's the thing. My roommate thinks it was just solid hubris. Solid hubris. Like after
Mm.
this package, they gotta cheer him. Look at this.
That's
The
what I mean,
most
right?
sympathetic character out there. He got screwed out of his match with Brock Lesnar, which my roommate also brought up something interesting about that screwed out of his match with Brock Lesnar. When you look at the replay, Roman's did have one foot hit the ground and his other foot hit the ring apron. Technically, Brock's feet hit the ground first.
Are we counting the apron as not the floor?
I mean, it's what my roommate referred to as the Kofi Kingston rule.
I was about to say the amount of. I was gonna say you gonna bring that up. I was wondering if you were gonna bring that up. The amount of people who are over here talking about do the pancakes not count as the floor?
If
Hey,
the pancakes don't count it, no, I'm not saying they shouldn't or that they should count as the floor. But once you establish that they don't, then damn it, neither does the ring apron.
no, this is okay. So this is the thing, right? Okay, all right. No, this is the thing, and I don't want to spend too much time on that because it's not even the fucking event. But this is the thing, right? Fucking clearly Xavier Woods is not the floor because he's a fucking person. But the fucking the pancakes are if the announce table and the chair and the stairs are not the ground and the barricade that all things Kofi has jumped on are not the ground. A fucking plate of fucking 8-inch, 9-inch stacked high pancakes are not the ground. The apron,
I get you.
the apron is like what, less than half a centimeter thick. The apron is the ground, bro.
Nah. When your
That's what I'm
foot is elevated and still technically caught up in the apron, that ain't the ground. But
Now,
WWE doesn't say.
if it was elevated, okay. If it was touching the ground, I got to rewatch it, I guess, to see.
But the bottom line is WWE didn't do that. They just go with this whole, well, refs sometimes get calls wrong. I'm like, but you could have easily just spun it to be like, oh, technically Roman's foot hit the apron. Ooh. Maybe Brock did win. Now that could have just been a mess up by Roman because they probably did want to go for the refs called it wrong, so Roman could continue to complain about Brock being Vince's boy.
But let's get back to Backlash though. So I'm talking with Ibn, of course. Like I said, he made a good point. Obviously, it doesn't look bad to the. I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't look good to the company if you're fucking walking out of their fucking like event, like period. But like I said, he made a good point of they already got the money. If you go to if you pay a ticket to see WWE event and don't even show up, they already got your money. So if you go there and then leave, it looks fucking. I've never seen that. We're all saying we never saw that, like because everybody who's been watching for a while, everybody is just like dumbfounded. But they already got your money, you know.
They do, but it's the idea of more money coming in.
No, this is true. And I mean, we've been talking about this for a while. And when I say we, I mean us as wrestling fans, like the collective for a minute, is WWE didn't corner the goddamn market, so they can do whatever they want, and they clearly are going to do whatever they want. So the amount of try or not try is just going to come from within them. So I think that some fans walking out,
yeah, that's got. I'm just saying. Okay,
it doesn't look
as
good.
far as the okay, we got your money argument goes, from a business standpoint. Yes, that is a good way to look at things, but I'll take it. I'll put it with something else like food service or whatever, right?
Okay.
Someone's like, "Hey, I want this sandwich with let's say I want a turkey sandwich, add bacon, add so and so, so and so, so and so. Bacon's $2 to add, but meanwhile there's a sandwich for $1 more than the turkey by itself that comes with turkey and bacon.
Okay.
You could just be like, yeah, that's their fault for being stupid, and I'm just gonna do this. But if they're talking to you, you could also suggest, hey, why don't you just get this other sandwich? Now, yes, you cheat yourself out of $1 on that thing,
But people coming back.
But they come back because, hey, they're not trying to jip me out of this thing. This guy legit stopped me from paying too much money for this thing.
Very true. Very true.
So obviously, it's you can get the yay, I got the one-time transaction, or you can play the long game and keep the money coming in. Keep lesser money coming in instead of the more money at this one moment.
This is true. I mean, because we all know since the late 90s, early 2000s, known as the Attitude Era, wrestling ratings have been low ever since '01. And I feel ever since '05, wrestling ratings have seriously dropped, and they've just been declining every year. So we already know that. But, I mean, the amount of decline that has happened, there's still a lot of us watching, a lot of money coming in. WrestleMania is still a big event, shit like that. But I don't know, man. My big thing is I look at this Roman Reigns shit, and I'm just as dumbfounded as everybody else who's been watching for a minute, even been watching for maybe even a year, because I just don't get why you are pushing someone so heavily who's supposed to be getting cheered that is getting booed and shunned like this.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I seriously don't. And you made a good point in one of our last podcasts where you said after coming off of a Super Cena era and then having somebody try to be Super Cena and Super Roman is nowhere near as good as Super Cena was, and we didn't even like Super Cena. So yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't. Uh, like I said though, you were 100% on all these predictions. The two that you got me on, I thought Big Cass was gonna get it, and I thought that Nutshot Nakamura was gonna end up getting that. But that was part that was the only one where I was torn, and I picked obviously you. Technically, neither one of us got that one though, but
Hmm.
I don't know. I say you got that one because he retained. Uh, Match of the night, I say was Rollins and Miz. If you don't agree, I'd be curious to see what you say is
No.
match of the night.
Um, I'll say Rollins and Miz, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm both match of the night candidates. I didn't really like the way that they decided to end them.
For two different reasons.
Yeah,
Now, I mean, you gotta admit, no
like
contest is
Miz.
no contest is worse than actually having a victor, though.
Well, I also feel like okay, I feel like both matches. The match overall was great.
Yeah,
I was more okay with the Miz and Rollins finish because it was technically a finisher. 1, 2, 3. We got a finish out of it,
right.
but then I was with AJ and Nakamura's, but the match leading up to the finish, I liked AJ and Nakamura's more.
Yeah, no, that's why I said it was on its way to being match of the night until the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the meat. I like the meat of the match, I guess, so to say,
Hmm.
of AJ and Nakamura more than the meat of the match to Miz and Rollins. Even
Mm.
though that was still a good match, but
It's still a damn
but
good one.
a good part of the meat of the match is Rollins being like, "Heh, who gives a fuck about being a knee injury? I'm still gonna beat this guy like it's nothing."
Mm.
So it's
Yeah.
like I'm just gonna shake off everything he does and kind of sell that my knee hurts.
Yeah. Well,
So that's why I'm like, I'll still give it to Rollins and Miz because it had a solid finish, but I could see other people if they said AJ Nakamura minus the ending.
like I said, I feel like I'm the only person that obviously I wanted the match to have a clear victor, but I feel like I'm the only person that's not completely upset with that finish just because I get if a dude kick you in your nuts that hard and they timed it perfect, just shows you how good of in ring workers they are. But dude did that shit. None of us are getting up. Not that I like it, but I get it. Um, but I mean, when you got fans who are chanting "beat the traffic," beat the traffic, they were chanting "beat the fucking traffic," bruh.
Yeah.
And people took pictures and posted online several sections of people who during the Range Joe match who just fucking left. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
we all know the infamous shot of the crowd the second the match was over. Look at the crowd, and the second it was over, motherfuckers are leaving instead of like at least watching the aftermath of people walk to the back at the very least and shit. That out of bruh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure like a lot of motherfuckers left. I'm not left, but stopped watching wrestling like after Backlash. That shit was bad.
Yeah.
Resto 2018 is what I call it.
Yeah, it was
Um,
very bad.
we can go ahead and rate it. I've been thinking for a minute, man.
Bad out of 10.
I have been thinking for a while what I would rate this mug, and I mean, it can't get this bitch no fucking C. It gets a D plus.
Yeah.
Gets a D plus because it had a good match. If we're counting the kickoff, it had a solid match. It had a damn good match, and it had some other matches that weren't terrible with Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss and then Orton and Hardy. They weren't terrible. But then you have matches that were like, why are you here with Lashley, Strowman, Owens, and Zayn? And then we all know the matches that were ass, and then the finish. So what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, D plus, man.
That sounds about right.
All right, all my armchair bookers. Go ahead, leave in the comments. Let me know what y'all felt about Rest Hold 2018, Backlash 2018. You know, let me know what y'all felt about it. Uh, go ahead, let's get a discussion going. I want to talk to y'all, hear from y'all, all that other good shit. We are gonna go ahead and close this mug out. Stay tuned. Click over to the Raw SmackDown review following this god awful pay per view. And yeah. Oh, and I keep forgetting to do this, Pete. Plug your shit. Where can everybody find Pete?
Plug your shit.
Where can everybody find Pete? Was that funny?
I'm sorry, just the way you said it. Oh, I forget to do this. Pete, plug your shit. Anyway. Anyway, yeah, you can find me obviously here at Call It in the Ring podcast. Thank you for listening once again. Armchair bookers and all that. Also, Jazz and I have a thing over on my own channel on YouTube /Feo Grande, FEO space Grande, Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. Just the phrase in Spanish. This is a horrible plug. Anyway, Jazz and I have a thing where we review DBZ movies. That has like video of the two of us talking. We review the DBZ movies at the moment. I'm going to put more stuff on my channel. I just need to actually find some kind of free time to do it. Also, I have a Twitch stream, twitch.tv at Giotavi, Giotavi. Yeah, catch me there. Mainly play fighting games, but I did just get a device so I can stream from my PS4, so I'm going to be playing other stuff, just kind of have a variety. And again, set schedule for that is up in the air at the moment, but, give it a follow. Always catch me there. But yeah, that's about what I got going on. My extra
All right.
stuff.
Again, everybody, thank y'all for listening. Comment some stuff, man. Comment some stuff below. Let's get some dialogue going. Like I said,
Feedback.
we want to talk with.
We don't know
we
you
want,
like that.
we want to talk to y'all. We want to hear from y'all. We want to make this conversation not just one sided. You feel me? And me and Pete would like to hear from you. And like I said, if I remember, I will put links to this man's shit in the description with everything else. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for listening. And as always, if you need to make an audible, you're not gonna be fucking wrestling at Backlash 2018. I know that goddamn much. But if you need to make an audible, you can always call it in the ring.
Adiosness.